Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, before we jump into the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting us a little further, consider becoming a member on our channel or joining our Patreon to join any of our open slots for our open games. Outside of that, I believe that is everything I wish to talk about. Let's get into the game. All right, Lily, tell us what happened.
Last time on Daddy Issues. Dun dun dun. The group made their way to the town of Tusoa, um, and they had a brilliant plan to extract the information from Gilligan by posing as tourists via a drinking competition between Lily and Kurt. And it seemed to work well because their first tavern that they went to, a higher end establishment known as the Cleanser, where they learned that, yeah, Gilligan was not here. And this was kind of for those upper class people. And the only reason the group was even able to enter was because Miriam was from the Lyceum. The second tavern, however, the Foreclosed, that was the fun tavern where the two got to try various drinks, some of which were questionable as to whether they were drinks or not. Um, while at the Foreclosed, our friendly neighborhood cleric, Tolsha, made a deal with a stranger at the tavern who happened to be the father of the boy who was cleaning it and also the boss of the tavern, question mark. Um,
Oh, that was confirmed.
and and as such she sold the wasp poison that the group had to get a to get into contact with Gilligan, who was at the third tavern that the group went to, known as the Island. Um, there they met the infamous, maybe famous, not really famous at all, but street known Gilligan, who informed them that currently the route that they needed to go was unusable due to some giants blocking it and throwing boulders at any ship that sailed by. He also told tales of rumors about these giant ants in the wildwoods, and there was a minor discussion about how scary ants were because they had super strength. Um, after that, the group brought Lily and Kurt to bed because they had drunken themselves silly and kept watch over them over the night. However, the perceptive members of the party found something odd as a man attempted to enter the room that Lily and Tolsha was in and was dissuaded after seeing that Tolsha was still awake and aware of his presence. After slinking away to his little hidey hole, Tolsha followed suit a bit and listened in on this individual telling, I think, a woman or someone about how. Actually, I don't. Yeah, so I don't think she understood what they were saying because it was in a different
For
language.
the first half of the conversation, did not understand what they were saying, and it was only one person speaking and replying to themselves.
Oh, okay. Indeed, one person speaking, and oh yeah, no, the reason she heard what it was because she had tongues on her. Um, and after sharing this information with Shale, uh, they decided to be prepared for any watchers that might happen, considering that the man mentioned that these giants were part of some sort of experiment from the looks of it. Uh, the next morning, Tosha also informed Lily, who made the necessary preparations that she saw fit, and the group was got with Gilligan and onto a ship and ready to go and deal with these giants.
So
Let me know if I missed anything.
you all, um, no, I think that covers most of it, other than the fisherman.
All right.
Bernie, you're muted.
The fisherman.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just
and
saying, Kurt stole some fisherman outfit from.
yeah,
another guest at the tavern.
He also
Is-
stole a teddy
and sh-
bear.
And Shale may or may not be confused what fishermen look like. It's hard to tell.
And Kurt is immediately seasick the second he steps on the boat. Just what?
No, not the second. It's after the first 10 minutes, though.
Well, did this group buddy up? Everybody has control over one other person's character sheet yet?
We have not. Nope.
No.
Okay. Starting when we have all 6 players here, everybody's going to choose a buddy, and that is the person you will allow to mechanically control your character, not roleplay, mechanically control your character for instances of combat.
Mhm.
If you are not here.
Sounds good.
Buddies will be shared, so back and forth. Alrighty. So, you venture out up the lake to the Kopaya Lake. Well, up the stream up to the Kopaya Lake, where your captain is going to drop you off on the shoreline. I'll be back this time tomorrow.
Well, all right. I guess. Okay. Just stay for a couple hours when you get here.
Sure thing. He puts on a vest and a goofy-looking hat and just casts a fishing pole and starts fishing.
Right. Well, good luck, and I guess that goes for us as well.
So, the Kopaya Wildwood is a vast and beautiful forest. The edges of it that you've seen going upstream to this location looked fairly dense, but were covered in beautiful, wondrous different types of trees that looked like general lumber type trees. Very good, very profitable for anybody trying to develop or civilize. There's even a couple of lumber yards that you saw upstream towards this location. However, for the past 1.5 miles, 2 miles, there was no signs of any type of civilization. The woods have become far more dense to the point where you're all going to be forced to climb over logs at most of the points of your journey. The trees are solid, grounded, and have a slightly reddish bark to them. If any of you were to touch these trees, you would notice that the bark is a little loose, almost able to grab and peel back with your hand without needing to be terribly forceful. You hear the sounds of wildlife and animals all around you, coexisting and inhabiting. Shale, for the first time in a little while, you're back into your natural preference.
Well, we're probably going to need to find these giants right quick, but just wanted to ask y'all, have you ever dealt with giants before?
I have not.
No, unless you the minotaurs, I suppose, could count to some
No.
degree.
Minotaurs don't count. If the lions
I'm
count, though?
not saying they are giants. I'm saying they are generally large compared to the rest of us.
Well, they can tend to be a bit territorial, ornery, and, well, not very bright, but they are smart enough. Probably shouldn't, well, just try to speak with small woods if you are talking to one. I do speak a bit of giant, and I believe was the Marion. I was like thinking doors and doors and doors, and Marion mentioned being able to speak as well. Does anybody else know the tongue?
I do.
And when she says that, she does say it in giant.
That's good. Understanding is definitely a good part of it. Just remember small words and try not to upset them if we do come across any.
I
Right. Well,
have a question.
how would we go about not upsetting them if? Well, I don't know what would upset them.
Well, again, territorial. Don't confuse them. Small words. Uh, Anything aggressive, moving toward them or moving quickly might, cause them to engage as a threat. A lot of the time, they prefer to feel like they are the ones in control.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Yes.
I mean, the way you describe them makes them sound a bit like assholes. Are all giants like that? Because I had always thought there were different types of giants, like there are different types of dragonborn and elves and dwarves.
Yeah, I'm giving a general description. A lot of the tribes that were around the hills that we grew up in kind of fit more of that description, but there were a few. I met a couple at the Grove that seemed to have better senses to them. Since these ones are reported as attacking people and being hostile, we should probably just go with the assumption that they're not going to be too keen on meeting people.
Yes, that's probably a good assumption to have. I'd say.
Now, Lily, you speak the language, which means you've learned about the culture, at least to some degree. You don't learn a second language without learning about the culture coinciding with it. Roll me a history check. Let's see what you know.
Yay.
I just
For
know
some
about
reason, my character sheet wasn't open.
Oh, no, you're legit. Where you come from, there are giants. So,
I mean,
it makes sense.
I'm just wondering, like, are these hill giants? Are these other giants? Oh, wow, that was
Well, you don't see any hills.
forest giants.
You also don't see any mountains. You do see a sky sometimes. And in all honesty, the bulk of what you learned about giant culture came from Goliath culture, which is completely different than giant culture. You know a great deal about Goliaths, but when it comes to their ancestral heritage, that you don't. You know passing things about it, but nothing that could stand out right now.
All right. Yeah, it's probably something like on the tip of her tongue, but she just can't quite remember it.
Yeah, who the fuck knows what you learned back in third grade? That was stupid. Anyways. Well, you're all here. What would you like to do? Marion and Kurt are both... Well, Kurt's busy being sick in the boat, and Marion volunteers to assist with helping him.
Yeah, get through it.
Taking his turn. Yeah.
good.
One thing too, Lily will make kind of pull both Shale and Tulsha aside for a second, like, you know, as we're, you know, girl talk.
By the way, Shale, have you discovered anything that might be looking at after us?
I mean, nobody that came along with us in the boat. There was some shaded people back in town, but nobody up here that I've. Are you talking about the captain?
No, Tulsha had mentioned that about that man from last night.
Yes. Yes, his accent is very unique. Different from anything else in this area. You'd be able to see it or hear it pretty distinctly.
Just kind of widely looking around.
Oh, Shell.
A quick question, Joey. We've traveled a bit already. Roughly, how far would you say we are from the place we need to go with the giants?
You don't know.
Okay.
The giants are somewhere near the coast of the lake.
All right.
You're at the lake,
Oh.
but the lake spans around 20 miles or so.
Okay, so it should. We still have time to do things. So, yeah. In that case, Lily is going to kind of, as I mentioned, she prepared for this sort of thing. So she's going to kind of pull out some goggles, kind of like you do that little like breathe on it and rub it with her shirt real quick, and then hand it to Shale. And what that is see invisibility.
You cannot cast that on other people.
Wait, what? Oh shoot!
Self.
Damn it! I
Yes.
dang it! I did not read that part.
So it's your perception check.
Yeah, she does that, but instead she puts it on herself.
Yep. Shale, roll your perception check since you said you were looking around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bernie, you're all alone right now as the three of them are gossiping about something. Somebody? Who knows?
Can Lily make a perception too now, since she's I guess she did put it
Sure.
on.
Go for it. Yeah, Bernie?
I'm just trying to get a sort of the lay of the land, just looking out for any natural terrain that might seem like it's a good place for them to, like, if they're ambushing these boats and stuff, what would be the best place to do that?
Survival check, please. So, Lily, you're looking around for invisible entities and or creatures that may be drifting through the ethereal plane.
Well, not just the ethereal, but
You do not see any in your proximity or near you.
yeah. Lily gives a thumbs up.
Actually, scratch that. There is a massive ship up in the sky above Tolsh's head.
Lily is thumbs up, and then she looks up, following. I'm assuming something's connected to it.
There is a chain. Wait. Marion has the anchor.
Right.
So above Marion's head, and there is a chain going from the vessel down to Marion's bag.
Yeah, Lily kind of waves back at Marion on the boat, and just as she's staring at this ship above.
But yeah, that's all you really notice. Bernie, the density of the forest makes it hard for you to really imagine any creature unless you're taller than these 100 to 120 feet tall trees could see easily. So you're probably looking for a place that's a bit more open. So you know what to look for, but you don't see it yet.
Okay, ladies, are we ready to head out? I mean, I don't see any good places from here that seems like it would be, well, a place they'd be staying.
So I'd like to just give you guys a bit of advice. There's 3 ways that you're going to find a giant. First way is going to be the most dangerous. You see a giant. You see a giant, he may see you. You be very careful. Second way is you can hear a giant. And not hear them in the sense that they make a lot of noise, but typically out in nature, animals tend to avoid them. They can be, again, quite aggressive and dangerous. So if it does get quiet, we might be getting close. And the third way is probably the hottest, but you can typically feel when you're getting close to a giant. Contrary to many stories, they can be quite quiet when they want to be, but you can still feel their presence. It's very hard to be sneaky when things are moving in the vicinity. So Might want to just keep that in mind as we're tracking them down.
Right. I suppose they have to be, well, if they're, depends on how big they are, of course, but they should be fairly easy to track, I think. I mean, if we come across any tracks. I mean, they're big and heavy, and they probably leave some, like, marks on the... I mean, they may topple a tree here and there, I suppose, right?
Well, let's go cautiously and look for these giants.
I'm willing to take bets. Is this going to be giant children or a giant couple on their honeymoon?
Or giant ants that have combined together to form a giant person.
Although that would explain the giant ants if they're on a honeymoon. They could be having giant food, attracting giant ants.
I don't. I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here. I don't.
Well, I mean,
They
we
probably
haven't
don't
gotten
even
ahead
know
of
what a
ourselves.
honeymoon is.
We haven't gotten ahead of ourselves because we haven't gone yet. I can still see the ship.
Right. So, as I said, let's go.
Shale, with your 19 perception, you look around the immediate vicinity, and this is clear that no giant presence has been around. At minimum, you would see subtle uprooting of trees in the area, even if it's not a full uproot, the roots themselves pulling up at them just leaning in and pushing them to the sides. You would notice large divots in the ground itself, and given that this is a topographer's nightmare of a landscape, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, all over the place randomly. You'd imagine there's probably not any good shore footings for anything that large directly near you. This seems to be a safe place away from them, but they have not inhabited this immediate vicinity.
So current plan, if everybody's good with it, we just kind of skirt around the lakeside since these giants are supposed to be attacking things out in the water, and just keep an eye out for signs of them. And once we come across those, we'll pick up the trail.
All right. So you just eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick a direction. There you go.
Well, we're by, I assume, the water, so we're just going to be making our way like north up the shoreline.
Make it away. All right. Begin traveling up the shoreline. Walking directly beside the shore is possible, but then you don't have a good view inside the forest itself. Would you like to walk through and among the trees' bases, stepping around and over, moving much more slowly, but with the opportunity to see more in depth of this actual forest?
Would everybody be okay with doing kind of like a search party approach where we all are kind of walking the same pace, but like abreast at different intervals from the shoreline? Like one person's closer to the shore, then the next person's a little closer into the forest, and then the next is further in, the next is further in, and then we kind of push our way north.
Yeah, that sounds
Sure.
good. And either that or we split up and search for clues.
Let's split the party.
4 ways. Let's go. New characters. Let's go. But anyways, you spread out and fan out. Who's taking the direct shoreline?
I'll take the shoreline.
All right. Who's going to be next in the line?
I'll take the next in the line.
Who's going to be third?
I'll take third then.
Okay.
Then Shale, you're the deepest into the forest
Sure.
itself. I forget, with your new updates, you don't have favored terrain anymore, do
No,
you?
no, do not.
Okay, so you're still moving at a slightly slower pace.
For me, I ignore all difficult terrain anyway, so that's because of Earthwalk.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep looking at your token and forgetting. Okay, so everybody's fanning out, and you notice that Shale is slowing herself down to keep up with all of your pacing. I would like each of you now to roll me an investigation on your travel.
Boop-a-doo. Guidance.
Yeah, of course.
That 20.
Nat 1.
Guys, I think we need to go back the other way. I don't know. Just not.
How the hell do I keep ending up on the water?
That's crazy because you were in the forest.
All right. So, Shale, you actually keep coming across these incredibly large interlocked sections of the trees where you have to turn around and walk the fuck the other way and around them or over them. And it's the density of this forest was not made for people to traverse across, which is nice, except when you're doing what you're doing. And it's just interrupting your entire process. Yes?
I just wanted to say, would it be possible for Shale to use survival instead of investigation since we're trying to track something and that also kind of, that's kind of
No.
a mixed jurisdiction?
You're investigating for a clue to their whereabouts. Survival is the process of tracking them afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Bernie, you're stuck in similar situations as Shale, but not all that much, and periodically you're kind of forced to stop and be like, wait, I think I lost that. Okay, there they are. And then keep going about your route. More distracted with not getting lost in the very thick, dense, uncivilized forest than finding what you are looking for. You're still looking, but right now you're looking for your family to make sure you don't lose them, get left behind, or go too far ahead.
Yep.
Lily was the one on the shoreline,
Nope,
correct?
that's me.
No,
No, that's Tolsha?
I was
Oh,
the
that's gonna
one
be
next
interesting.
to her though.
Okay. Lily, as you are walking directly inside of the tree line, you climb over a V-spread tree, putting your hands on either side and launching over. And as you're about to lower yourself down, you catch yourself as you don't find specifically what you were looking for, any tracks of a giant, but you do see this massive burrowed hole that looks as big as you widthwise. Right up against the tree.
If Lily would take a guess, could she possibly say this was an ant hole, like one of those ones that?
You could roll me a nature check and try to find out. Tolsha, however, as you are traveling in that area, 29 on the shoreline traveling, you do get farther ahead from the rest of your family, but not to the point where you no longer hear at least Lily, or actually Bernie as well. He's louder moving through places with his heavy armor. You can hear them still, which means you're within at least a couple of bursts of breath from charging towards them or them charging towards you. And you notice this tiny burrowing inside the sands that kind of divots downwards in a slope, but the sands above where that slope is being propped up by something else, as if this is a secret hiding spot for something or someone.
I'm going to quietly approach it.
Okay.
If I can roll stealth.
Sure. Lily, as you're looking at that hole, yeah, that looks like a giant ant hill for ants that are the size of, well, width of you. Tolsha?
When those things eventually probably attack us, I should get some samples.
Tolsha,
Yes.
you get over to that little divot, and there seems to be a sand-covered, colored blanket thrown over some object, multiple objects, in this little hidey hole. You don't notice any movement, and when you look around, you see birds in the sky, once in a while fish swimming in a peaceful state, and you hear the strain of Lily beginning to breathe more heavily from holding herself up on the tree before lowering herself down. but nothing else to be nearby that you can tell.
Gonna pull the cover off the blanket. Or the blanket. Pull the cover off.
Pull the cover off the blanket.
You know what
yes.
I mean.
Fuck this cover. We want the comforter, not the sheet.
That's true, though.
So you throw it off, and there appears to be a wood plank laying down inside of this little area. There is a locked trunk, small one, that's about the width of your shoulders across, and a handful of other random supplies. There's a couple of vials, a couple of tubes, some beakers, some testing components. This looks to be some type of scientific makeshift operation.
Gonna whistle towards Lily. For her to...
Lily's gonna whistle back.
Gonna tell her to come here.
Then tell her.
Lily, come over here.
Okay. Can you get Shell to come to take a look at this?
Bernie, you can hear Lily.
Hey, Bonnie, can you get Shell to come look at this? She keeps walking around those big trees.
Sure. Shale?
Shale, you could easily hear Bernie. Whisper down.
Come over here. There's something. I don't know what.
All right, on my way.
Within a handful of moments, people collapse into one another's areas. Lily is now with Tolsha. Bernie and Shale are now where Lily was, and it's much easier to walk.
Hey, Lily, look. Science.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And Lily will begin her work to basically probably first look at there's notes there, right? It's not just beakers and everything.
No parchment. There's the closed locked box, and then there's the beakers and all of the other components.
Using my proficiency in alchemist supplies, can I at least, I might not know exactly what the items are, but can I kind of estimate what they might have been or what they would have done?
Yes, these are alchemist supplies.
Okay. In that case, Lily will check the box for any traps.
Investigation.
Edit.
D4. Before you even touch the box, Lily, you notice something that the Lyceum actually uses for security around the campus for the classrooms with too dangerous of items, of artifacts, of concoctions, tinctures inside of them. This is a warded chest. If it is moved more than 10 feet from its current position, it will explode with a lot of explosion. If you try tampering with the lock in any way or disturb the location of that ward, it will explode with a very large explosion of some capability.
What if you mess with the rune that causes it to explode?
It will explode.
Shit.
This is the only decent safeguard that mages have against any type of mundane tamperings. Because it is dangerous. If you fuck up with it, it'll explode. Or something else worse could happen, depending on who made it. In the Lyceum, it just immediately causes you to become paralyzed.
Yeah, but this one's definitely exploding. Yeah, Lily will look to Tolsha.
You wouldn't happen to have a way to dispel any sort of magic, would you?
Hey, do you have a way?
Because if we move this chest more than 10 feet, or we tamper with the lock in any way, the warding rune on it will cause it to explode with a lot of explosives. And as fun as it would be to throw it into the lake to do that sort of fishing, I want to see what's in the chest.
Yes. Here, let me, and I'll
Dorothy, get away from there. And Shale's pulling back Dorothy and doesn't want her anywhere near that thing.
Dispel magic.
Okay.
Do you have any idea where this chest came from? Or I mean, this is not the work of the giants, right?
If I were to take a guess, this might have to do with that uninvited guest from last night, right, Tulsha?
Maybe.
What are you talking about?
Oh, last night, while I was drunk and unconscious stuff, if Tulsha wasn't there, a creepy man was trying to sneak into the room.
What? Why am I just hearing about this now?
I'm looking at Tulsha.
Because
What?
Let them keep role playing.
What kind of creepy man are you?
Well, the first thought initially was that it was just someone who was very into Dragonborn.
Very into Dragonborn.
Either in the love way or the hate way. Until he started speaking. It was weird. It's like common but not common. And I had a spell prepared, and well, it sounds like he's working for the Empire. If you remember that man that was looking out the window when we first arrived at the tavern.
You saw him when Kurt threw up in front of his windowsill.
I think I know who. I noticed this person, yes, but so he snuck or tried to sneak into your room?
Oh no, he just flat up opened the door.
And then you heard him speak in Semnian?
I think that's what the language might have been.
And one thing too that we were trying to be cautious of, and
Lily will take a look around as she's saying it, and then look back to the group.
From what Tulsha said, he was going to survey us as when we do this. So he may be trying to watch us at some point in time.
He did this to every room. So he even looked it on you, Bernie.
Right. Well, I'm not sure why you didn't find it prudent to wake us, because that would have been very good. But so we're having an Imperial spy on our tail for whatever reason then.
Well, he didn't come on the boat. I was keeping an eye out for him.
I mean, I didn't tell you because I kind of wanted to see if we could catch him out here away from prying eyes and ears to figure out what he was doing.
That's fair.
And no offense, Bernie, but you do tend to go a bit gung-ho immediately.
What does that mean?
That, from what I've seen so far, when there's a situation that you don't agree with, you tend to go charging headfirst into it right away.
It's definitely not a bad thing, but it is probably not the best choice at the moment.
Right.
See,
Let me just point out that in those cases where that's happened, it's been because people's lives have been at stake.
you are.
So, well, I understand the concept of subtleness and subterfuge, as it were. You don't need to. Well, all right. Let's worry about this for later and focus on the giants for now.
And this box that maybe is related to it, because there's some kind of experiment he's doing out here.
Yes, these are alchemist supplies, and if I were to make a hypothesis, whatever they were working on with this supply and this research station, they caused those anthill over there, and might have been the cause, or at least something about these giants.
Question, Jero, just about the general situation.
Joey.
Thank you, Joey. The location of this box, where we found it, how we found it, does it seem that this is something that more or less would be set up kind of as a general trap, like, here, look at this giant pile of berries in the middle of the field sort of thing? Can Shell, like, get an inkling? Does this seem like something that maybe they were using to bait? Or is it kind of subtle enough to where people wouldn't just come across it?
Survival check, please. And while you're doing that, Tosha, we had you make a roll of your wisdom check. 29. No, this is not a bait. This was very well hidden. You would have to be under this very specific circumstance to even stumble upon it, unless you knew it was here. Like, this is not a location that somebody would just happen upon it in order to fall to a trap. It was hidden. Very well, like somebody who knows what they're doing. Tosha, you begin casting your magic upon the runic marking, and you immediately get flashes of a much more intense magic imbued into this than you originally anticipated. But with your focus, you manage to dominate that magic with your own and just barely snuff it out. You are just barely successful.
Ooh.
That was a 5th level spell.
Ooh. Lily will look to Tolsha and kind of give a questioning thumbs up.
The spell is gone. It's good to go.
Now you need to pick the lock.
Lily does that over kind of exaggerated thing where, crack your neck, stretch out your arms and stuff, pop your, all that jazz. And she will start attempting to pick the lock.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a Thieves' Tools
Can
check.
she, guidance, can she crack her tail?
Only with help from someone else, and that's like a chiropractor type of, nice.
Kind of like that thing when you need help cracking your back.
Yeah, that, really awkward point in your back where, once you get it, it's amazing, but you need someone's help.
Which attribute? Is this intelligence or dex?
Dex.
Okay. All right, here we go.
$25. All right. I want you to roll me a Thieves' Tools check utilizing intelligence, Lily, because this lock is unlike any lock that you've encountered before.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, this is unlike any mechanism on the inside that you've ever encountered before. It's not just a tinkered lock. It has a lot of different grooves that go in very awkward positions that makes it so you have to deliberately bend your tools on the inside of the lock itself to reach around and get to different mechanisms as you're twisting at different points. And you have to pull out a third lockpick pick and use your mouth in order to maneuver all three in unison, but you manage to twist your neck at a little bit of an awkward angle, but click, it unlocks. Now you just have a mild kink in your neck, but that was a lot harder than you thought.
By the way, after that last like kink where she had to do it at an awkward angle and it pops open, Lily's just gonna briefly pretend that she accidentally like snapped her own neck and like fall like what's limp.
Get up, Lily.
Sweetie, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to keep this chest though. I want to study this lock.
I was just gonna say, why don't you rip the lock out once it's opened?
You can keep it. It's a padlock, so you can just keep the lock if you want.
Oh, it's a pad. Okay, I thought it was like one of those, like
yeah, it's a
chests.
lockbox. So like it closes, it gets a latch, and then you put the padlock.
Okay,
through.
I thought it was
keeps it
literally
shut.
like it was one of those like chests where the lock is inside the part of the chest.
Yeah, you are also going to have to like readjust all of your tools, which is easy enough. You just have to bend them back into place because that was intense.
Yeah.
You were successful by a margin, but not a large one.
Joey.
So, anyways,
I'm putting in my inventory. What should I call the lock? It's special. Just
unique padlock.
Okay.
I wonder what the key to that would look like.
DC 22 to open.
Ooh.
It's pretty high, yeah. But now it's open. You open the latch, lift the lid, and peer inside at a handful of documents that are all tightly wrapped up in a threaded wire. You see 2 vials in here, a syringe in here, and what appears to be a weird-looking herb. This herb is green all the way across the stem, and the leaves start at green and feather outwards, almost like a pine tree feathers with all of its pines to the sides, but towards the very edges of it, they turn orange. It's very soft at the stem, but the leaves feel almost like autumn leaves that are easily crunched.
Since we've had a sort of similar situation like this before when we first met at Palmaflora with the whole dad treasure, Lily will carefully. I don't think she would see any traps on the documents themselves in the carefully locked chest that was trapped. So she'll hand the documents to Tulsha and begin examining like the other stuff, like the vials, the syringe, and the herb.
Yeah, I'll carefully undo the wire and start reading through these documents. And when Lily gets to the herb, I'll throw in any poisoner's knowledge I have to try and help identify what that is.
All right. Now, Lily, you can roll an alchemist check for the vials. Do you have any other proficiencies outside of alchemist for the herb, though?
Let's see. Smith, Weaver, Tinker, Thieves. No, probably not.
Herbalism or poisoners would apply.
Okay.
Would apply to that one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Tulsha would have to investigate. Well, I think Shale? You don't have herbalism?
Nope. I'm a primordial with no knowledge of nature whatsoever.
Of course. So yes, Tulsha would have to be the one who goes over the root and the leaf. Like alchemy is when you have a product and you discern its property so that you can use it for your science. Herbalism would be the more in-depth knowledge of the base product before it is developed. You're used to things being partially developed already before you reapply that further. You get refined materials. Herbalism starts with unrefined materials.
Yeah, so like the way I think I'm picturing it right is alchemist is the I know the periodic table stuff, whereas herbalism is like this plant has these things in the periodic table.
Correct. And poisoners applies to that as well.
Okay.
So, the documents, Tulsha. You unravel them, and you cannot read a single word on this document.
I can't read these.
I'm just gonna
Can you?
assume here that those documents, being so well hidden, they're most likely under some sort of cipher.
Can I
It-
try
it's po-
to? Go ahead, Lily.
It's possible they're under a cipher, but if they're also written in a different language, Miriam knows the spell that can help us figure out what's being said. And from if we know what's said, we can work at solving the cipher.
Well, is it in any alphabet you know? Do you recognize the letters?
You do recognize the lettering. It is in the common alphabet, but you don't understand the language. Bernie, history check.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not my strong suit, but
Everyone's relying on you for this, Bernie. 16. One of the portions of belonging to a naval fleet is they have to educate you on all aspects of any enemies that you have, at least rudimentary. Though you do not speak the language in any capacity, you were told how to look for the specific signs of Zemnian. So if you come across it, you would know that this is Zemnian.
well, it's quite probably Somnian. I don't know exactly what it says or anything at all, but I sort of recognize how it's lettered.
I guess that would mean we would need a.
We should bring this back to Marion when we have the chance.
Marion doesn't have that spell.
Oh, he doesn't have comprehend languages? I thought he used that at one point.
I think you're thinking of Kurt.
Kurt. Oh, it was Kurt. Damn it. I'm sorry. That's what Lily said in redaction then.
I guess we'll have to.
Actually, Kurt doesn't have comprehend languages unless he has slivers. Nope.
Tongues? I thought somebody had something they were
No.
speaking.
Oh, Tulsha had tongues, but at some point, one of us had comprehend languages.
I can tell you it wasn't Shale.
Yeah, and Kurt may have forgotten that language when he leveled, or that spell when he leveled up and chose a different one.
Ah, damn it. Oh well.
I guess we'll have to find someone who can speak it, or. Yeah.
Well,
But let's store these for the time and.
Right, and we should maybe give
I think Bernie was trying to say something, guys.
Sorry.
this strikes me as some sort of what you call it, dead drop for Imperial agents, which means that at some point someone is going to come back here. And so we could, of course, set up an ambush, but this is starting to get into a bit more, shall we say, geopolitical area, more so than just hunting down some giants.
Right.
Well, I have an idea that might just be crazy enough to work.
And Lily will begin, go take out her journal, which has, papers in it as well. Not like any expensive ones, but she'll rip out like the back pages, which has a lot of her doodles and things that you do when you're bored in the back of a journal. roll it up like it was those documents, and then take the wire that Tulsha undid and wrap it around those and put it in the bin, as well as replace the herb with some of that the herbs that she got from Blueberry.
That's kind of funny. Yes, it is just drop off. Danke. But anyways,
There are papers, and there is the plant, so it is all legit.
so are you taking anything else with you?
Could take the vial and everything else.
Oh yeah, I need a roll for that still, don't I? The vials.
Oh yeah. If you're trying to identify them, roll me an alchemist check utilizing intelligence.
And I'll do the herb.
Then roll me a poisoner supply utilizing intelligence.
Is it possible that with how good I rolled for the alchemist, I can help Tulsha?
No.
Okay.
No. Because you're doing very well, which means you're working very well. 25. Actually, let's start with Tulsha's. 11. You have never seen a herb like this before in your entire life. It's definitely foreign to any location you have inhabited. You estimate that it has to come from a tempered climate, just because of the sharp edge of the needle-like leaves on it. But you have no idea what it does, what its purpose is, why it's so big, where it comes from, anything like that. I said tempered climate. I meant cold climate. Cold climate. Lily, 25. You pull out your own alchemist supplies, and you start putting it through your typical state of testing. And what you notice is when you apply a very small portion of what's in the vial to a based compound in order to break it up to see how it reacts to that base, your base amplifies drastically and then breaks the vial in your hand.
Yeah, Lily replaces the vial that's broken with one of the vials that are there at the place.
And you test it again, but with a different solution. Same thing happens. It seems to imbue into what it touches, but drastically alters its compound in order to make it expansive,
So
grow exponentially.
So like kind of like it causes gigantism.
Yes, at an unnatural rate.
Yeah, and not like the regular like potion of enlarge and stuff kind of magic.
No. By your estimate, 25 is high enough. This would imbue into whatever you put it in until it cycles through its body.
So, this is whatever this is, it causes gigantism via the sorry, but basically what it does is it'll cause you to become gigantic, or it'll expand your self, your body, your molecular structure until it passes through your system, which would explain something like giant ants or maybe giant people, for example.
These giants were out to hunt may not actually be giants at all.
They may be people that were subjected to this experiment, and maybe it causes some sort of mental or psychological distress, and that is why they were throwing rocks at ships. Or if we're being optimistic, they were throwing rocks at ships to keep people away.
Lily, it's also important for me to point out, sorry, I'll let you speak in a moment. This would not be safe to give to anybody. This, what it would do to their body, you're not even sure if that's like irreversible. It may be way too dangerous to give to a living person. By your ethical standards.
And given what this solution does or how it works, it's not a good thing to give to anyone. It's unethical.
So you're saying
now Bernie was trying to say something before I interrupted him. Bernie goes now.
Right. So this is. Let's try and look at this from a sort of larger perspective here. So Tusoa and this entire river is one of the waterways leading into the empire, which means it is of some strategic interest or importance. And well, I'd say it's a safe bet to assume that there's no coincidence that these giants have shown up now that things are growing tense between the Empire and Tal'Dorei. And by extension also the Menagerie Coast. So whatever this is, it's most likely some form of war effort, or, well, at least to a certain degree.
Joey, quick question. This area is still technically part of the coast, right? Menagerie Coast?
Yes, this entire territory is the Menagerie Coast until you break past the river or past the lake and you come to the fork in the river. Then you enter into Empire territory.
Okay.
But all of this is Menagerie Coast, which is neutral through everything.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. Is Lily is
Yes, but if the Empire is fiddling around in neutral territory, then they are breaking. Isn't that a war crime of some sort? When the Menagerie Coast should be informed of this if it is of Empire origin.
I completely agree.
unless it's
Also-
turned out the coast has taken a side.
Well, if it has taken a side, that means that they are open to assault from Tal'Dorei and their allies. But I think we should, at some point, try to get this evidence to whoever leads the Menagerie Coast, because I really do want to see the Empire with their hoity-toityness kind of squirm a bit, if you know what I mean.
I completely agree, but for now, it's I think it's best we focus on getting those giants out of the picture. And let me just point out something that we may have already been sort of known to these Imperial agents when we showed up in town. But they, well, I'm not sure what they would have perceived our group as, but most likely we would not be perceived as a threat. But if they now find that this cache has been discovered and plundered, then they might take some steps to, I don't know, get us out of the picture if they assume that we're the ones behind it.
Lily, after you say, like, if they think it's been plundered or whatever, Lily gestures to the notes, quote unquote, and the herb that she left in there to replace what we've taken.
We also could use it as a bargaining chip for entrance into the Empire if we can't get smuggled in. It's like, hey, we found this. We won't tell anyone. We just want to get to this city, and that's it.
That's, That's a dangerous proposition because they, well,
Very much so, but the fact that, well, none of us can read Zemnian, as you put it, means we don't know what's on this information.
Right.
So they would have no reason to pursue us after this knowledge.
well, I think, as I said, we focus right now on taking those giants out because that seems like something adventurers would do, and let's just try and present ourselves as just being adventurers, and then once we get back, we take some steps to ensure our safety, and try to figure out what's in those documents.
Right. Also, Lily, you're saying that Kurt can't use that vial to win the fishing competition?
Wait, he said can't use what now to?
Can't use the vial to win the fishing competition?
Lily shakes her head.
I got a 12-pound trout. 200-pound bitch ass.
Falls over back.
You put it on a fucking minnow and yeah. Just...
I wonder what they would do to a whale.
Jesus Christ.
That's how Jesus fed 5,000 people with 2 fish.
Lily's
Science, bitches.
Hey Joey, can I do a quick insight check real quick? Just like it's like a thought, and I just want to see if maybe it would be substantiated. If Lily still has a jug of black powder, if she sets up the chest so that it will the moment someone opens it to see who got messed with what, and if she made it so the documents that the fake ones were burned in the process, if they would think that the real documents were burned and that so and so happened or whatever. Can I do an insight check to kind of like basically play a prank, but also espionage?
So you want to insight if they would fall for your trap. The answer to that is you can't roll that insight. You could set up the trap and you could attempt to make it look like that happened. And then they will roll an insight or some other check later on, depending on how well you did, to see if they see through it or not.
Okay.
You cannot insight them, but one of the perks that is rarely ever used with people who are proficient in thieves' tools is you can make your own traps.
Yeah, Lily would like to do that, as well as when it burns the documents, it's gonna burn the herb that the herb that Blueberry gave her. So whenever anyone opens it, they also get a whiff of that, and so that might maybe stop them from
contact high and lightweight. Okay.
Lily, question. You said that the chest or lock was supposed to explode or something if someone tried moving it?
Only when the magic was still available, but
Right, sure, but is it possible that, say, some large animal could have triggered that explosion if it came here and started bumping into the chest or something?
well, this area was very well hidden, so it was highly doubtful that they would believe it.
Well, it's well hidden, but I mean, there's got to be plenty of wild animals around here, and unless they're keeping a close watch on this thing at all times, then at some point some animal is going to cross by.
Well, if they're keeping a close watch on it, then I'm glad that at least one of us is keeping an eye to make sure to try to spot that watcher.
Well, I look around.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, Lily said that pretty sarcastically.
Yeah.
Roll me a perception check, Bernie.
Lily, what would happen if you put that growth stuff on black powder?
Lily's eyes widen and like she gets this grin begins to spread.
giant black powder.
But before I do that,
What's that ball flying towards? Holy shit!
but before I do
A
any of
baseball-sized grain of black powder.
Put it on
Before I
a
do
cannonball
that,
after it
though,
fires.
I need to study the sample to see if I can reproduce it to perfect it and make it better and Lily brand.
I mean, you could always like put a drop on it to see what happens.
Let's attempt that at a different point. For now, why don't let me finish setting this up and let's cover it with the blanket again and deal with these giants.
And Shale, could you help me try and let's try and just cover our tracks a little bit around this area so it doesn't look like it's been disturbed?
Right. She'll just go to having Dorothy kind of track over where everybody's been.
Dorothy's trunk easily sweeps everything out of the way as she's walking.
Gerald, for setting a trap,
Joey.
Damn it, I was doing so well till now.
Yeah.
Do I need a roll for the thieves' tools for the trap?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would it?
Thieves' tools utilizing wisdom.
Oh shit. Fuck.
You're trying to set up a believable trap.
Guidance.
Okay, thank you.
$25. Damn, you are on a roll. Can't wait to this fight later.
Fuck.
I'm rolling shit.
Roll initiative 1. Damn, I knew it. But 25. So you're setting it up so that when it is open next time, some gunpowder will explode and destroy the contents inside, correct?
Yeah, like it'll visibly like burn what the paper's in there as well as the herb because, contact high and it's funny.
You set up a very simple but effective contraption on the inside of the lid with a system of different wires going through it and a very thin vial that has first an explosive acid at one side and then the actual gunpowder on the other, so that when the lid is opened, it will bring with it a nail that pierces that vial, the two of them mix, and boom.
It'll also definitely scare the shit out of whoever opens this next.
I will forewarn you that the explosion is probably going to be a 10-foot radius.
Oh shit. I mean, not that I care about whoever opens this, but yeah.
It should be audible within a mile or two.
Hey, that gives us a forewarning when we go further down the lake.
Yes. But yeah, you set up your trap. It's good.
So it gives a thumbs
But
up.
anyways, back to the anthill shale. Originally, what she asked you to come over and look at. You see an anthill. Was there anything you wish to do with it? It is a massive anthill that you could crawl into.
To be perfectly honest, I was completely unaware that there was an anthill. I thought it was coming over to look at the chest. I had no idea.
Okay.
No, at this point, I mean, we've seen nothing else indicating that there's anything in it at this point, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, no, let sleeping dogs lie. We got giants to find.
All right.
But our giant ant cavalry. Hey,
Any.
you know that would be terrifying. A bunch of adventurers ride up on giant ants.
I mean, the ant could literally throw an entire horse easily. So, like,
It's revolutionizing warfare. The ant cavalry of the Menagerie Coast.
Let you in on a little secret. Insects aren't beasts, so it's similar to like devils and demons. Like, Shale don't fuck with that.
It's a
Shale don't like bugs. Got it.
it's a sure
Oh,
way
she's
to
fine with bugs, but it's a very short-lived relationship.
Yeah,
it's a
Bernie.
sure way to up the ante.
Hate you. Then on that glorious note, we can go ahead and go on our break before you get back to what it is you were all originally sent here to do. Deal with giants? facts.
I mean,
Anyways,
we
we'll be right back.
found an important clue
Big guys.
Yeah, you did.
and set up
We'll be right back.
a prank.
Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump back in, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. But anyways, let's get to the game. Where last we left off, the party had successfully traversed on boat to the Kopaya Lake, going with a fan-out option to try to filter through this incredible large wildwood. A couple of you did exceptionally poorly. I apologize, but that's what happened. Actually, no, one of you did exceptionally poorly. One of you did poorly. The other two did incredibly well. Hello, puppy. How are you? Oh, big yawn. Lily discovered an anthill that looked to be large enough to allow somebody her width to fit inside of it, which caused pause and a moment of intrigue. Tulsha discovered a hidden little area on the shoreline, just a couple of miles further into the Kopaya Lake as all of you are traversing. Once you got over towards that little hidey hole, that little spot there on the beaches, you realized that there was some type of alchemist supplies gathered together. You summoned everybody together. Lily discerned a mechanism on the box itself as being very volatile and dangerous and explosive. And you managed to dispel it, though just barely, Tulsha. Opening up, you discover that it had some very unique things inside of it. There is a root that Tulsha could not easily figure out what it would be used for. And then there was the vials of some type of compound that Lily, through testing, discovered they amplify organic material exponentially, causing it to grow at a rapid and unhealthy rate. And until that filters through the object or person or item or whatever you call it, it will maintain on them. However, afterwards, you don't think the effects of it are physically reversible, though your body would no longer be capable of sustaining it, meaning if you ever put this into a person, it would be incredibly dangerous. And before anybody says this is too powerful to give your player characters because they could use it as a poison against an enemy, if you inject somebody with vinegar, they will die. So, okay. But anyways, you managed to put a little trap inside of that box, taking the lock with you, Lily, to try to figure out more about it, and taking the notes inside. And that is where we left off. So, players, do you know which direction you are heading into the Kopaya Wildwood now? Do you have something else you wish to try, or are you just going to keep sticking to what you've been doing?
Well, I suggest we continue following the coast, maybe a little bit inland, so we have some more cover as we travel.
That might be a good idea.
And just for the sake of clarity, because I don't think I heard you say it, we did put the blanket back on the area, so you know.
Nope, too late. The blanket's destroyed. It's gone forever. Bye-bye.
Shit.
No, yeah, you put it back. It's fine.
Okay.
Kurt shows up. I wasn't supposed to vomit on this? It's fine. Just put it back. So, are you doing the fan-out method again, or are you all sticking together?
I say we should fan out again.
Sure.
Joey, before we go,
Yes.
can Lily, because I remember I did this in the Wednesday game, can Lily attempt a vibe check to see which vibes are the vibes we need to follow?
Insight, perception, and wisdom.
Isn't it charisma?
Charisma, yes. Roll charisma. Thank you. The Wildwoods do be vibing, but maybe not with you.
Fair enough.
Right. Well, let's fan out a little bit again then, I suppose. Probably no more than 20 feet apart, I'd suggest. Just in case those giant ants are around here.
Alrighty. Then, as you're all fanning out and walking, I would like a perception check from each of you.
Got it.
That's fine. You said 15 feet apart from each of you?
20.
20 feet apart.
Yeah, the vibes.
And I can just assume the same order as before.
Yeah, the vibes definitely not be vibing with Lily now.
Alrighty. Bernie and Shale, the two of you being closest to one another, start noticing that a few of the trees are cut down here. Not with man-made materials, but with something sharp and forcibly cut. Some of these trees do seem smaller, like only 40 feet tall and 3 feet wide, compared to the massive trees you have outside.
Right. Do they seem like they were cut with some effort, or
Sorry,
is
I
it
believe
the
the question is cut or chop, right? Are they sawed or are they chopped?
right? Yeah.
Roll me an investigation.
That's better.
22. The edges of the trees are bowed inwards towards the stump where they were cut, which would suggest a pinch.
Oh.
A pinch.
Uh-oh. Like, as in mandibles.
It is at this point that the two of you notice, not very far ahead of you, there appears to be this horse-sized ant chewing on the edge of a tree before it breaks into it about halfway with its massive pincers. And let me bring you all onto this map.
Oh shit. Wait, quick question. Is it a red ant or is it a black ant?
They're red.
Fuck.
They're
fuck.
red. All right.
Oh,
I would like you all to roll me initiative, please.
are they saying anything?
Not that you can tell. You don't notice them.
They have antlers.
You're about to have one shoved up.
Sorry.
Shale, you did not select your token before rolling.
That's true. I will put in my number. There you go.
Well, I guess the tank goes last.
Beautiful.
Me? In the tank?
No, we rolled a 3, both of us actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what's your deck, Shale?
2.
Yeah, mine is +1.
Is it 12? Oh, so yours is 14. Yeah, Shale goes right before you then. The giant ant over here, as it is currently chopping into the tree, stops and rotates its head over towards you, Shale. Where you see it starts vibrating its pincers very, very, very quickly. And you hear chopping elsewhere inside of this forest begins stopping. As now the ant is going to start moving, crawling towards you, Shale.
That's not good. Guys?
It opens its mouth and the pincers sink right around you. Natural fucking 20. Holy shit. Okay, that's how we're doing this today.
And that's how
The
Dorothy
pincers
died.
snap on your arms, Shale, you will suffer 10 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are now considered grappled and restrained by this creature. It lifts you into the air, and you see its mouth starts snapping at you very closely with this tiny little stinger stuck inside of its lips, and is going to bite you with that now. That is going to be a 14 to hit.
14 will miss.
Okay. As the stinger tries getting over to you, you manage to push yourself far away from it as you see this little bit of ichor dripping off of it that looks, well, probably like you don't want that in your body. It alerted all of the other ones on its turn, so that is the end of the giant ants. Lily, you heard Shale, and now when you look up, you see these giant ants burrowing through the forest towards, well, her.
Oh no. Quick question just before I do anything. If I laugh and change my appearance with the Oni cloak, is that an action in
That's an
combat?
action.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's see what I have a spell that might be helpful here. Let's see, 6 feet. Wait, oh, that's Featherfall. No, this one. Yeah. Each object in that much of a cube. That's okay. That's decent. Yeah, Lily is going to which one specifically can she like see barreling towards Shale?
This one, this one, this one.
Okay. I'm trying to measure this thing for. I'm trying to measure the area for fairy fire because I just want to see how much that would hit.
A 20-foot cube. So draw a line of 20 feet wherever you could hit multiple things within that 20-foot area. So you could hit 2 of them at once.
Damn it! I was hoping to hit 3.
Well, you can hit 2. She doesn't see this one. She's unaware of it.
Yeah. In that case, does it look like they're gonna, since they're ants, they would go like a specific route because, you know, ants go in a line?
They seem to... they're beelining towards her. You're in the middle of combat. What would you like to do?
Sorry. Lily would like to take out a spray bottle that's attached to something in her bag, and along the area that she thinks that these ants are gonna like beeline towards Shale, she's gonna cast grease.
All right, so you show me where that's going to be.
Just a second, so beelining towards her, that's probably route of, yeah, she's gonna put it like in this spot right here, this little, actually, yeah, right there.
What is it, a 10-foot cube?
Yes.
There you go. Right there. Is that good?
Yes, it is. And,
Alrighty. That's your action?
And bonus action, Lily is going to tell Misty to help Shale.
All right.
Which her turn comes right after Lily's, so Misty's going to...
No. It is important for me to point out that this entire forest is difficult terrain.
Shit.
Yes.
Does that mean she can still dash, though?
Yes, but she has half movement.
Right, so she'd only... 40 feet, yeah. She'd only be able to get here then next to Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess that'll be Lily's turn.
All right. Tolsha.
Move here and say, everyone get together. It'd be easy to defend in a small area. And I'm going to start off with a spiritual weapon, but right here.
Boop. All right. A magical what appears behind the ant?
This is going to be a giant lumber axe.
Alrighty. It appears behind.
And
Roll your attack.
on a roll. It doesn't get flanking, does it?
It gains the benefits
Okay.
of flanking. It does not give the benefits
Right.
of flanking. 16 will hit. You notice that this creature has an exceptionally thick exoskeleton. However, it bonks and cracks through a portion of it, where it's softer on the inside.
Add 2 more necrotic damage to that.
All right, so that's 16 total damage.
Yes.
All right, there we go.
And then as my action, I'm just going to shoot it with my short bow.
Pew! Shoot it. 19 hits for 8 piercing.
Yes.
Alrighty, it takes it. All done?
Yep.
Alright, Shale.
You said this thing kind of like lifted me off the ground, right?
Yes.
All right. In a flash of kind of surprise, terror, she kind of grits her teeth, kind of holding the mandibles, not quite forcing it yet, but her veins begin glowing a very bright luminescent green, and the earth beneath the ant is going to start quaking a little bit as you guys see a few spikes shoot up through the ground.
Ooh, okay.
And
What's your color, Shale?
yeah, the point that I'm going to center it on, 5, 10, 15, is going to be right here.
Alright, so it's a 20-foot
Radius.
radius. So 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20.
So basically a 40-foot cube.
Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, or adjust it?
Well, it's a 20-foot radius. That'd be a 10-foot radius, so double that. So the edge of it is basically, you see where the line is,
This.
right? Yeah. You see where the line of us are. So it's essentially, yeah, you got it. Bingo.
Right here. Alrighty. You all watch as, well, as she said, these large spikes just jut out of the earth at all of these awkward angles and area, creating a difficult terrain on top of the difficult terrain. But it hurts a lot more any creatures that walk through it.
And then as this is happening, Dorothy is going to rear up and try taking this thing's leg in its mouth. So going to do a grapple on it.
Ooh.
Let's.
Dorothy can grapple creatures larger than her?
She cannot, but she is still going to attempt to.
That's fine.
So I'm just going to do the maul attack, but it's her attempting to grab. Unless it's like a strength or something, I forget. How's just like grapple action, so it's athletic.
Grapple action is opposed to athletics.
Yep, here we go. 11.
She loses.
That is my turn.
Alrighty. Bernie.
Yep. Let's see. I'm going to go over and try and help Shale get out of this vice grip. Yep. Just moving over and attacking the ant, basically. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Go for it.
Let's see. Attack. Where's my axe? Actually, I'm going to use the longsword, just in case there's some sort of magical thing.
Ah. 17 hits for 6 slashing.
Second attack.
And 16 hits for 7 slashing. It's looking a little rough now, but it seems to be very interested in trying to eat Shale.
Yeah, I'm gonna use
All done?
smite on the last attack.
Go for it. 8 radiant.
Yep.
All right. Now it's bloodied. All done?
Yep.
The giant ants. This one, very confused. Let's just map out how far it walks. All right. 5, 10, dex save. So roll 2 instances of your 2d4s, please. Jeez. All right, 12 damage on it. That spell is so good.
There's a let me fix it. -4 off of that, so only 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay, that's a big difference.
Yeah, there's a strength mod. I've got it fixed now. There we go.
Okay. Now it has to do a dex save. Lily, 13. Is that a success?
It is not.
All right. So the creature falls prone after already spending half of its movement. So it spends the other half getting back up.
Does it take more damage because it fell onto the spikes?
Nope, but it definitely wasted all of its movement.
And I know everything was already difficult, and there's not difficult terrain, but just for the purposes of this is magical difficult terrain, if these things ignore that.
All right. So that's 5, 10, 15 dex save.
What happens if we had a third difficult terrain?
It is successful. There's only one duplication of that, and that's the one that you spend 4 feet of movement or 5 feet of movement every one. It is successful on its dex save. However, that is 15 feet of movement so far. 20 feet of movement. 25 feet of movement. I need that many D4.
5, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go.
All right, so ignoring the first 2, that's 10 plus 11, so 21 points of damage. Ooh. Who needs Fireball? Spike Growth works perfectly fine against stupid creatures. All right, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So start at the 2. All right, so 7 plus 12. Wait. No, we start at the 2. All right, so 7 plus 12 is 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is 12. We ignore that one. Okay. How much damage? 12, 17, 21, 24. Correct? 24 points of damage on it?
Sounds right.
All right. This one seems far more intelligent and will decide to move around all of the hurdy stuff. This one, however, noticed Lily casting a spell and is going to go after Lily. Nom nom, Lily. Does a 14 hit you?
Does not.
It goes to bite out towards you, where you manage to slip between where it actually would pinch and hold it off to the sides, but its little tiny stinger mouth is going to sink and bite out at you instead. I assume a 12 misses you as well.
Yes.
All right, now the last one on you, Shale, is going to try to stinger you again. That is a 15 to hit.
15 misses.
All right, there we go. Lily, your go.
Yeah, Lily knows a bit about ants. Like if we had some cooking, specific pepper, we could probably do this. But since we don't, and there's also discussion earlier about ant cavalry, Lily would like to attempt to jump onto the back of this ant and hold onto its antennas if necessary to kind of rein it in.
I need an opposed athletics.
Shit. I'm not good at this.
You can do it.
There's athletics. I'm gonna use my session inspiration because fuck it.
You manage to leap on top of its head, but this creature's antenna lifts you and throws you back onto the ground. This ant can lift a tree. You weigh nothing.
The antenna did that?
The antenna lifted you and threw you onto the ground.
Oh, I thought the antenna was supposed to be like, kind of like a...
The weakest aspect of this creature.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe strong.
Yeah. Ants can lift more than 20,000 times their own weight.
Actually, so was that my movement or my action?
That's your action.
Fuck.
You tried to grapple it.
I tried to ride it, but
You tried.
yeah, I don't think I'll move really. So, bonus action. Have Misty keep doing what she's doing. Misty will move here and go like try to go underneath the mouth's head, or the ant's head, and like bop it in the mouth to let go of Shale.
So is it trying to break the grapple on Shale, or is it attempting to...
It's attacking.
Attack it. Then it attacks.
I was just flavoring it.
Cool. I was just clarifying before I made you do something.
Shit.
12 misses. Dunk. That thing's as hard as metal. All done?
Yeah.
Bernie's looking over at this happening and shouting, just stop antagonizing it and kill it.
Tolsha, your turn.
Delay me. I'm on a quick phone call.
Okay.
Shale, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to just pull at the mandibles as hard as I can and yell over, Dorothy, try to pull it away. And Dorothy's going to use her action as the help action, so give me advantage on the escape.
Go for it.
All right. What do you want me to roll? Athletics, strength save? What am I doing?
Athletics.
Okay. 17.
17. She manages to put her tusks up far enough wide that it forces the antennas to give you that little bit of space for you to push and drop yourself out of very quickly.
Thanks, girl. And she is going to rush up behind it and call that a turn. Let's see. Lily. Yep, I'm good. That's it.
Shale.
Okay, I'm back. I can do my turn now.
Oh, okay. Tolsha, your turn.
I'm going to have my spiritual weapon attack the ant that is in front of Shale
Okay.
to try and get rid of at least one of them.
$22 hits. How do you want to do this?
I wanted to hack right into the back of the head of the ant.
All right. So the hatchet, after you fall to the ground, the ant raises its head, seeming to look to give another one of those chitters for more assistance in the area. But the hatchet smashes right into the skull, severing and dropping it to the ground before it gets that sound out.
And then I'm going to use my action to take a shot at the one that is currently at Lily.
All right, go for it. That hits for 4 points of damage. Bink. Wait, wrong number. Four's not that much against that creature. Okay. there we go.
So 10, 20, 30.
Yep.
Yep.
Well done. Bernie.
All right. I'm going to grit my teeth and move out into the spiked area. to try and get them to focus on me. So I'm just gonna step over there. That's
10 feet of movement
Yep.
in there. All right, go ahead and roll it. 10 feet of movement, Shale.
7, 4.
Oh,
so that's
the 7.
5 total damage then.
Oh yeah, you have your armor feat.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yes, synergy.
And then I'm going to use a bonus action, Channel Divinity, and just smack my shield to draw their attention and issue a champion challenge.
That is wisdom save for each of them,
Yep.
correct?
All
All right.
yeah, within 30 feet.
1, 2, 3, 4. So you hit the 4 of them. The one on the far left, down, over, up. Okay. Far left. That is going to be an 11,
Not enough.
an 18,
That's enough.
a 2,
Two.
and a 5.
Nope.
All right. So 3 of them are challenged by you, Bernie.
And then I'm just gonna attack the one in front of me.
Go for it. God, that's a bonus action.
As Bernie wades
Yep.
in, Shale goes, "No, wait! Never mind."
It's fine. It's fine.
Just a little prickly.
Yeah,
That's all.
Tickles.
20 hits. Whack! Slash across it for 6.
And,
17 hits.
do I get flanking actually?
another-
No, I don't. Oh well.
No, there's nothing
Dorothy,
to be
there's-
flanking on this side. You would have to be here to get that flanking.
All right. Right. Yep.
Yep. It's fine. You wanted that 20.
Yeah.
That's 14 on it, right? Well, it's really hurt now.
And end of turn.
Alrighty, now we are on to the giant ants. This one is compelled to move 5 feet over towards you. Roll your 2 d4s
Hey,
for 5. Hey, it's hurting them a lot. This one continues its movement. 5, 10. Oh yeah, this one would have to move out of the way to be able to fight you. So it takes another one. 15. So roll 2d4s for this one. And then this one, I need 15. All right, so 3 on it again. 5, 10, 15. So that's 9, 16 points of damage on it. God, that spell is so underutilized.
well, it's only really good against dumb things, so that's probably why.
5, 10. It will crawl onto its brother's back, avoiding the spike throat. And get right there. All right, Bernie, all 3 of them are going to attempt to attack you. We'll start with the first one. These ants have pack tactics. 14 misses you. And now the stinger from that one. 13 misses you. All right, now the second one. 16?
No. My current AC
Okay.
is 22.
All right, so I need to roll an 18 or higher to hit you. Cool. Well, a natural 20 hits you for 10 points of bludgeoning, and you are now grappled
So 7 points.
and restrained. Yep. 10. Yeah, 7. Now it's going to stinger you. That's going to be a 17. Misses you. Oh, God. And 1, 2, that's all 3 of them. The last one, who was not drawn to attack you, Bernie, is going to attack you. For a 19 to hit, which misses. And another natural 20. Jesus.
Well, to be clear, they're not
All right.
actually compelled to attack me. They're just they can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from me.
You compelled them to not be able to move further away from you, which drew their attention towards you. They're very stupid
Yeah,
creatures.
fair enough.
And the other one, you're the biggest thing next to it to eat. So it's just going to attack you. So that was a crit on the sting. I need you to give me a constitution saving throw, please.
All right.
13 is a success. So 44 points of poison damage. Mind you, it was a crit. Halved down to 22.
Okay, that stings a bit.
Yes.
All right.
And also 3 points of piercing damage, so you take none.
Right.
Oh, wait, it's doubled. You still take 3. Wait, that's not how math works. You still take 2. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, you still take 2. You double the damage die, not the proficiency in the boost when you crit. I did my math wrong
Right,
for the
okay, so
sting.
it's-
When it stings you, you're supposed to take 10. So you minus 3, so you take 7 piercing and 22 poison.
So wait, was that 2 nat 20s then?
No, this one not 20'd you, but the stinger pierces you and then poisons you on your con save.
Oh, okay. But the
Yeah,
stinger,
yeah.
didn't that one miss? I thought the
The stinger on the other one missed
right.
you. Actually, the stinger on the other 3 missed
right,
you.
okay.
This one hit you on its last attack with a crit
Right.
for big O
Right.
damages. And that is all of their turns. Lily, you are in an epic battle against this one as it is going to attempt to bite you. A 9 to hit.
No.
A 15 to hit.
No.
Alrighty, there we go. Lily.
Okay, so ant wrangling didn't work this time. I think that's because it needs to get softened up a bit. So Lily's gonna take her warhammer and just bop bop.
Go for it. Bop it.
I
18 hits.
oh the second number is if it's two-handed. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
Got it.
Lily, your warhammer twists around and caves the head in much more easily than you've seen all of the other weapons doing. It seems to be vulnerable to bludgeoning damage.
oh shit.
Yes. So that is 24 total points of damage.
Yes.
It's hurt. Wait. No, it's 24 doubled. How do you want to do this? Jesus.
Yeah. So I was oh Jesus, I was just trying to soften it up so I could wrangle it again, but yeah, Lily's just like she's panicking. She probably sees a little mouth stinger proboscis or whatever like come out and like do it, and she panics and just like you know that like cartoon meme where it's just beating it with a hammer or beating it with a stick. Yeah, it's
Yep.
just that.
You do that. You pick up your hammer, and Tolsha, the skull cracks very easily under the pressure of the hammer, and the second strike crushes the head completely, leaving it splattered on the ground. Actually, all of you would notice this, that it seems very weak to that type of damage.
Be right back.
Go for it.
It's vulnerable to hammers.
That was Lily's 4 words.
Well, it's your turn. You can just talk.
All right. But yeah, and bonus action, Misty is going to she's gonna call out to Misty to change her focus protecting Bernie and Dorothy. So Misty's going to move into the thing because she's not all that smart either.
Well, it can crawl over the ant's body,
Oh, that works too.
which the thorns are not on. Yep.
And yeah, it'll attack. Let's go with the ant on top because that's probably it's at the same level.
Misty doesn't go for bottoms. Understood.
I mean,
Nobody?
I mean,
Really?
Misty has the high ground, and so does that other ant. So you know.
Sure, it's fine. Yeah. 18 hits. For 7 force damage. All done?
Yes.
Tolsha.
How hurt is Bernie?
I can move him up to the front.
Well, on a scale of 0 to 46, I'm at about 10.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
5, 10. Stop there. Bonus action healing word on Bernie. Don't let ants defeat you. Hate to put that on a tombstone of died to
Giant
giant ants.
ants. Thank you very much.
No, it's just going to be died to ants.
Tied to ants. So you heal 5.
All right, thanks.
And then, can I change your spiritual weapon into a mace after it's summoned?
It doesn't change the damage
Fair.
type.
I'll have it attack this. Move it first to here, or here, then attack the giant ant so it has advantage.
Go for it. The one on top or the one on bottom?
Which one's still alive? Both of them?
Both.
The bottom one.
Okay, just trying to make my life difficult, I guess. Yeah, okay, go for it. It's significantly more hurt.
For 14.
14? How do you want to do this?
This one's going to just slice through and just chop off all the ant legs.
So, the axe spins through the legs, chopping each of them, causing the one on top to fall down on top of your spike growths. Please roll 2d4, Shale.
2.
Though it is very nimble and catches itself very well. Ow. All done?
Yeah.
Alrighty, Shale, your go.
Don't worry, Bernie. I'll take care of this one. And Shell's going to rush over to the side here. And as it's like nipping at him, going to try hacking off its back legs.
Go for it.
Does anybody have a hammer? And she swings 14.
Just barely hits.
All right, I am going to designate it my favorite foe, so it'll take the full 6 slashing damage.
Alrighty.
And just so you know, that favorite foe thing, that is a like on hit trigger. I can decide after.
Second attack.
No second attack. Dorothy is going to tear into the ant that fell off the top. She's just going to double maul it. So first attack, Dorothy, is 11. Ooh.
11 misses.
And second attack, Dorothy, is a 23
That does hit.
for 9 slashing.
All right, it takes it.
All right, and that is it for me. I'm gonna move one over. I'm gonna try, now that I've hacked this thing, get its attention, so Bernie might be able to finish it.
Alrighty. Bernie.
All right. Yeah, I'm grappled, but that's not too bad. Let's see. What's the action? Is it a standard? Oh well. Is it my main action to use the commanding longsword to command?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it just casts the spell for you.
Yeah. I forget. I'm gonna attack them.
All right, this is the one grappling you, by the way.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna attack that one, and
All right, you have flanking with Shale.
let's see. Would it be possible to, if I just yam like the hilt of my sword down into its head to do blood damage?
To bludgeon
Yeah.
it? I mean, you can hit it with the flat of your blade. That's blood. So yeah, that's how you typically non-lethal.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that then.
Yeah, if we allow non-lethal to be the damage just non-lethally, then it makes sense. Flat a blade, bludgeon it. 26 for 16 points of damage. How do you want to do this?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm just slamming the blade right into his head and crunching down on it. And then attacking. I guess which one looks most wounded?
That one's a little more
Right.
hurt.
Okay. So
22 for 18. It's hurt really bad.
I'll use smite on that one.
Go for it.
Ooh.
Well,
Well, it's not that bad.
6 is the radiant damage. It's still
Yep.
up, but it's bloodied now.
All right. That's my turn.
Alrighty, the giant ant. This one, who is now being bitten by Dorothy, is going to turn to Dorothy and attack her. 14 to hit.
Yes.
All right, and now the stinger. 15 to hit.
Miss.
Alrighty. Bernie, you're gonna get Actually, ants are so fucking stupid. It's gonna try to run away. If you would like to take an attack of opportunity, you may. However, roll your 2d4s, Sale.
Well, Bernie's would happen first. It's attempting to run, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. 24, that hits. How do you want to do this?
Yeah. Sticking the sword right into its behind us and turns and runs away.
The thorax is thrusted through from the creature as it just grinds head first into one of the major spikes. Alrighty, that's their go. Lily.
All right, Lily.
Oh, there's only one left. You're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lily, I don't think she can really make it there that easily, so
Well, if you run through the spikes.
yeah, Lily will yeah, she can do like research things after, and actually I don't get to go that far. 15 because difficult, another 15, so I can only get right there. Can I see this one on top?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Lily will quickly bring out her crossbow and her heavy crossbow and fire it.
Alrighty, go for it. 16 hits
And
for 8 piercing. Zing!
yeah, normally it's like a bonus action to reload, right? Because it's a crossbow.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna use my other. Can I use my other attack action to reload?
I believe that's only for shooting. Actually, no. You may replace one of your attacks to reload your weapon. Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, I only have 2 attacks, but because bonus action, she's telling Misty to basically,
Misty, fuck it up.
and Misty will go ahead.
Self-destruct sequence.
No, not that one. Not that one.
How are you programming your?
Why aren't you?
And yeah, Misty will
Go
make her
for it.
attacks.
Yep.
Well, actually, I just say attack, but
No flanking, so 10 misses.
well, dang, that's Lily's turn.
Tolsha.
5, 10, 15. Whack it with a spiritual weapon.
Okay, it has flanking from Bernie.
Oh, yeah. For 15.
Whew, that's a big chunk. It's really hurt.
And then in beast speech, I'm going to say, surrender to us and you live. And we'll. I'd understand it because I know beast speech.
Well, yes. However, this creature's intelligence is so incredibly low, it does not have an ability of speech. You understand that it is saying digga 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 digga.
Digatana, digatana.
Close.
That's my action that I can't do anything else.
Yup.
Like, just kill it. It's mindless.
Shit. It has a fucking 1 in intelligence, okay? It doesn't.
Seeing how beat up Bernie is, though, Shell's going to like shake her head, and you immediately see these spikes like quickly retract. So all the growth is now gone, and she will, when she reverts back to the last remaining ant. Take a throw of the hand axe at it. Let's see. Go. 9. And as the axe flies by it, Dorothy is going to attack the ant one time. We'll see what happens. And there we go. Quick maul, still doing her business.
That hits.
For 8.
Oh, it's just barely still
And
standing.
then for the second attack, she sees the axe going through the air, and like a dog excited, to chase the toy, she immediately like switches over to it and like crashes past the ant. So second maul. Nope, for an 8. So she just chases after the axe here, and yep, that's it.
Bernie, it's just you and the smart one.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to make it a little bit less smart. And
it's also the one that poisoned your ass.
Fuck you. Yeah. Attacking with using
18 hits. How do you want to do this?
So I'm just at this point I just stab the sword into its neck and try to like yank its head off.
You all see Bernie relinquish his demeanored version of himself and go full bestial master, ripping into this creature's head, sawing through and gashing into it as it lies on the ground dead, decapitated, and him in a little bit of a huff.
Bernie, do you need a moment?
What? No, it's fine. Just
I didn't realize you hated ants that much.
It just bit me in a sensitive spot, okay?
Is that why you're ticklish?
No, I think the ant bit him in the other spot.
Do you need some privacy?
It's fine. It's fine. I step away and lay on hands myself.
in front of the girls.
Yeah. What holy men do,
Oh no.
Oh no.
So I'm using 15 points of lay on hands, bringing myself back up a little bit.
And it's practically glowing after touching himself like that.
Looking around at the forest, Shale. Oh, Shale, I accidentally put an X on you. You're not dead. Or is that yourself? Bless you.
Hell no.
Areas of this section of the forest seem to have been chopped down by these ants, and you see the logs further up ahead piled up as if organized and instructed to do this task.
I just nod over to it. Looks like they were doing something in this area. Are you sure you're okay, brother?
Yes, it's just...
Okay. There's a pile of logs up this way. I don't know what they're doing, but I think we should go check it out.
Right. Fine, just give me a moment here. And I'm going over to just look at one of the more complete corpses that's not too beaten up. And I'm going to...
That would be this one out of all of them.
And I'm going to try and it probably has these chitinous plates on his back, right? So I'm gonna try and just pull out or saw out one of those.
Are you proficient in leather workers?
No.
All right. Give me a survival check then. 17s have it. You go through the process of trying to cut it away, and it's pretty easy for you to perform. Underneath its very thick exterior, it's soft, like squishy soft and gooey. But you manage to peel away a chunk of it that's the size of your head down to, well, where it bit you. So pretty sizable,
Right.
large chunk.
What's the? It seems quite sturdy, right?
I mean, it felt like metal when you were trying to like
Right.
break through it. Not the sturdiest metal, but sturdy.
Yeah. Is it? How heavy is it?
Not very.
I just try and like bend it a little bit just to get a sense of how flexible it is and stuff. And I look over at
Are you proficient in blacksmithing by any chance?
no, not that either. But I'm looking over at Lily and say, this. I think this could be well suited for, well, various kinds of things. Actually, maybe we could make some barding for a horse or some sort of, well, armor, or it could be maybe a canoe or something could be made. Huh. It's quite light.
Lily, if you are talking, you are muted.
No, Lily's just kind of like examining this ant like carefully because Tosha did like mention that it's stupid or something, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Shale pointed out about the logs. So Lily's basically like checking to see like what made this thing tick, and if there's if possible, maybe take a sample of whatever blood ants might have to see if there's traces of that fluid in it, or the
Ichor?
the ichor, traces of the stuff.
Well, first off, roll me a nature check. Second one, give me a survival.
Could I harvest the ant venom?
Roll me a wisdom-based poisoner's check.
That is.
Nature 13. You don't know specifically how ants function or are forced to do things or how they do things in general. Your practice and studies have not really been in insects in general. You deal with more evolved concepts, quote unquote.
True.
So yeah.
But for the sake of safety,
for the sake of safety
though, in the future though as well, Lily is going to use an action to like laugh menacingly, and it's gonna show like she is now in like an ant costume, kind of a poorly done ant costume, but it looks similar to these ants.
Just a
Dragonborn cosplay in an ant costume, yes, like a mascot at a carnival or I don't know, theme park.
Sure.
Bernie, you missed one over there.
I see that. Maybe I should go over and kill it once and for all.
Survival check. You pick up some of the goo, and it's hard to distinguish what's ichor, what's meat, and you just fill up a jar with it, and hopefully that's good enough.
Worst case scenario, I just feed it to Kurt or Bernie.
Tolsha. You'd have to extract it from one of the ones whose head is still mostly intact, which would be the one Bernie was looking more closely at for the plating. Digging around the skeletal nature of the actual face, breaking it off, and getting into where the sac is inside of its jaw, you pull this sac, which fits into your palm, that is attached to the actual pincers. So you have the pincers and the sac. You're going to have to refine it in an actual place where you can do this, but so long as this sac stays hydrated properly and tended to properly, you should be able to extract its venom.
Okay.
None of us have learned how to craft augments yet, right?
Tulsha knows.
Oh. I'm not sure.
She just spiritually understands
Right.
it. And what's his face? Marion knows. Because he was educated at a formal school.
You think we might be able to, I don't know, create some kind of what's it called again? Like the crystals in the shield.
Augments?
Augments, right. You think you? Is there something we could use from these ants? Well, apart from just the plating, it might make for a good shield.
Do these ants look augmentable?
No. Though they were dangerous and difficult to handle in groupings as an individual creature, they are not significant enough in power that you could extract them in a meaningful manner for augments.
Not for
Their challenge rating is too low.
not for augments, but their chitinous armor might be quite useful. Reinforced in the right places, it could make for some pretty light armor.
That's what I was thinking as well. I mean,
Also, I wonder if giant ant tastes like crab.
Do you want to find out? Hey, Lily.
Lily holds up the vial of the sample she took.
I mean, I'd take one of the legs and cook that first.
well, I'm gonna try and see if I can get as many plates as I can out of these things. So
Plates of what?
armor plates.
Okay.
So yeah, Bernie's just gonna start doing that and trying to retrieve any more, sizable plates from.
All right. How long do you want to sit here and try to do that?
20 minutes, maybe.
Okay. Give me another survival check.
Can I assist?
Sure. You're proficient in heavy armor, right?
Not heavy, but I'm proficient in survival.
Right.
I'm proficient in
Uh,
medium.
I'd allow you to make your own roll, but I would not allow you to assist. He has the combatant mind to understand what segments of these creatures could be complementary towards armor, shieldings, barding, stuff like that. You have the mind of what could be useful, what could be protective, what could you create shelter out of, different skill sets. So I would say you can make your own roll.
If Bernie wants her to, could Lily possibly assist? Because she is proficient in Smith's tools, which is specifically for making those kind of items.
You could make your own check if you want. And you could assist Bernie as well if you would like.
Okay. Yeah, Lily would like to assist Bernie, but only to better complete her ant costume.
Okay. Any guidance?
Both of you may roll. Yeah, Tulsha, guidance
Yeah,
yourself. Good
that is
call.
a great call. Thank you,
All right. Oof. Oh well. Oh. So the not one first.
Yeah, 21's not bad. 14's not bad. So, we'll start with Tulsha. Tulsha, you get a few of the legs as you are authentically curious what these creatures taste like when you cook them. The eggs are in perfect positioning, though they're a little gooey on the inside. You've eaten far worse. And technically, ants are perfectly edible, technically, so who knows? Not that the poison of these creatures would have bothered you at all anyways. But after you get that, you manage to salvage, I'd say, 5 pounds of ant plating for yourself, Tulsha. Bernie, however, with your 21 and assistance from Lily, Lily knows surprisingly more than you do about armaments, mostly in the way of constructing them, segments, how large they need to be able to form to somebody's full circumference and everything such as that. And it helps you tremendously to learn exactly how large of segments you need in order to try to form this into ant armor if need be. I'm going to give you I'd say 25 pounds.
How many ant legs?
5 complete ones, Tolsha. And each leg is like a giant king crab sized leg. So I mean, they're pretty fucking big, you know. Like,
This is thanks for the help, Lily. This is really good. I mean, if we meet any more of these, we might even make some sort of like, I don't know, it could be like a separate entrance to a house or something, sort of like an antechamber.
Lily would like to just slightly
roll
punch,
initiative. I'll allow it.
slightly punch
Oh.
Bernie, just unarmed attack.
Just right. Okay. Well, we should write about it at least, like an anthology.
Did you just Google ant and words that start with like?
No, these are just the ones that came to mind.
You are so.
Good thing you have that armor ability because she's just slapping you for zeros. Like,
It's not just not just because he's got the armor ability. I have a -1 attack, so it's with unarmed. It's 0 anyways.
You think we know who the real antagonist of the party is?
Dorothy will slap you for that. That's
This isn't even anti-humor, I swear.
all right, everybody. That was a fun
Is
session.
Is there an antecedence? Antecedence?
You're just
I'm not
looking
sure
up
how-
words that have that.
Right now, I did.
You don't even know what any of these mean. You're just saying it.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that again.
Antithesis.
Here I was hoping you guys were anticipating the fight with the
Oh,
Goliath.
of course. Well, how did we miss that one?
But wait, one more thing. If Lily can take a sample of it, is after the plates are removed, can Lily I don't know if she would realize how she failed on the how it works thing, but can she find something that looks like maybe a pheromone or sense for these ants?
You have no idea how these creatures work. I answered that for you already.
That's true. Damn.
So you have a segment of its goo that may have blood and ichorish materials inside of it as well.
Well, at the very least, tonight we're having giant ant legs.
I would rather not.
Would you rather have that bland ice cream or spice cream?
I didn't even try
Ice
that.
cream
but-
is delicious.
No, the one I got you. Remember?
No.
It had 0 flavor.
Maybe you should try making ice cream out of the ichor.
That's gross. You're gross, Bernie.
It is. It wasn't a serious suggestion.
I feel like that's more of a torture method. And make them eat that.
All of you are so weird, but you're also family.
Lily
Said
says
the-
this while in the ant costume.
Yeah, I was about to point that out. I just looked
Shale.
at her and just. Right.
I was just gonna type out what I was doing. That's fine.
Oh, I'm going to tell you something that Dorothy is
Okay.
doing. Dorothy, because Dorothy is her own entity that has her own passive and other choice abilities, moved over towards the stacked logs and starts rubbing her tusk against something and looks over at you from behind the logs.
I mean, that's what I was typing. So yeah, while that's going on, I was heading over there since that was initially what I had pointed out, what was going on. So yeah,
I was just trying to. Bring
I know.
Sorry.
So I was like, how do we? I pointed out the log, and then okay.
It's Bernie. Sorry, it's
I-
Ilvorn. What do you? But anyways, you walk over towards the logs, and they are properly stacked up here. There appears to be about 15 of these large trees that have been segmented and stacked in this area. What Dorothy was rubbing against is a vial that has what looks to be a miniature ant inside of it. sorry, a normal-sized ant inside of it.
Gotcha. Empty vial, open vial,
Corked vial.
corked vial. Okay. So
And it's placed precariously and safely inside of a groove in a trunk of a tree that these logs are placed up against.
okay. I'll grab the vial and call out, Lily, Tulsha. I think there's something else over here.
Over that way.
Ooh, it's a normal-sized ant.
Yeah, I'll just hand over the vial, but yeah, Dorothy didn't like touch it or anything, right? She just like alerted me to it.
She touched the vial with her
Okay.
tusk.
I did explicitly tell her, and I wrote that in roll 20 that she was not to touch any like man-made stuff while we were here.
Oh, okay. Then she would have like touched next
Okay,
to
I
it
just
and then look at you.
I've got
for
that
it.
safeguard in place. She is not to do that. Not in this place.
Giant
You
Dorothy.
know. Not today.
Barn Dorothy.
Does this look like a regular worker ant, or does it look like the queen ant?
Roll me a nature check, please.
And while
back.
Tulsha's doing the checking out the ant, can Lily check out the vial?
Sure. Roll me a
Alchemist?
intelligence check.
Oh, okay.
It appears to be a vial. There is a curious aspect about it. The cork in the top, it's a very underutilized type of cork that is meant to allow the passage of air through it in a very unique manner. Usually for items that you need to put inside of a vial that need air to not die. Which means it was a deliberate vial for a deliberate creature to be placed inside of it. Tolsha, you're 10 on your nature check. This appears to be an ant. It is an ant-sized ant inside of this jar and vial. It is slightly bigger than what you would anticipate an average ant would look like, though it does appear to be a red ant, which are known for being poisonous, dangerous, and other choice things, and do lie on a large spectrum of size scaling. It's a little bit larger than you would anticipate an average ant to look like, but not so much so that you can easily discern this would be a queen. You don't know.
Well, it's definitely bigger than a normal ant. Not sure if it's a queen. But if it were, it would explain why those ones were kind of barricading it up.
And also, this vial is specifically made to keep it alive. So if I were to take a guess, if this was the experiment mentioned, then they were attempting to use the gigantic worker ants to as labor, while the queen, which could be this one, directed them, or at least was the reason for their presence.
Yes.
Well, definitely seems like they're being used for labor, as you said. I mean, having its own autonomous workforce that brings you lumber is
Well,
very helpful
Tony,
for the war effort.
I don't know if you realized it, but if they can cut down trees with ease, then what could they do to people?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we found that out today.
Oh, right.
Looks at Tolsh, at Shale.
Hmm?
Oh, just look at the wounds on the sides of
Yeah,
Shale.
Shale and Bernie, they can attest to that.
Is Shale still? How wounded is she? How wounded is Shale?
She doesn't appear to be super wounded. It like got her kind of around the back of the neck and the back area, and she's got like very long flowing hair, so you don't really see much.
Right. Well,
If she's hurting, she's not showing it.
What do you say we let this ant out of the vial and just continue looking for the giants?
I think it might be safer if we hold on to this for now before we decide what to let it out.
DM, 2 questions. The log pile itself, does it seem they're forming the pile in any like structural manner? Like, are they building something or just piling the wood? Second question, does it appear that the wood is, would there be any paths like it's being taken somewhere else?
Answer the first question, it's being stockpiled.
Okay.
So for
Yep.
excess gain. Second answer, survival check, see if you, or investigation, see if you find one.
No. Investigation, 7.
7, not that you can tell.
So just to reiterate a little bit, the queen is alive and inside the vial.
Maybe.
Oh.
People are making the assumptions that's the
Right.
queen. I never confirmed.
I don't know. It's
And just
yeah.
What were you saying?
No,
Bernie?
go ahead.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was just trying to.
No, I didn't really have much to say right there. So
what I'm saying is, I think it's better to learn more before we fully commit to releasing this ant.
Agreed. I mean, we could just kill it.
I mean, you guys are welcome to do whatever you want with the letter or the ant or any. I'm just looking for the giants. We still haven't found them yet, so
Right.
we
Let's
kind of
not
need to get moving. That boat's coming back tomorrow, and we
Right.
haven't exactly, finished what we came here for.
Agreed. I would appreciate it if we could take a short rest at some point.
Well, now would be the time to do it.
Right, but maybe in a more secure area. I mean, we don't know if there are other of these giant ants around. If they gather here, then it's probably best we walk away for a little bit first.
By the way, Bernie, I noticed you using the flat of your blade. These ants seem pretty vulnerable to hammers. Do you need to borrow one?
Sure, if you have a spare one.
I have a mace
Lily?
if you would like to use it.
Sure, I could do that. Let me just see now. Yeah, I could take one of those.
What I'm offering with Lily is her light hammer that she has.
All right, okay.
So whichever one you would like, because Lily has the fuck off warhammer right now, so I doubt she's giving
Yeah.
that up.
Well, the mace is probably heavier than the light hammer, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And it deals more
Yeah.
damage.
So if Tulsha's offering the mace, then I'll take that then.
Okay.
Very well. Tulsha, as you hand the mace over to Bernie, who grasps it and starts weighing it in his hand, the forest. It's quiet.
I cast Pass Without a Trace and say, something's coming.
Everyone get down.
I would like you all to roll me stealth checks, please.
Yeah.
You all get a plus 10. Okay. Damn.
Hey, Joey, I'm trying to remember. Breastplate, I think, is the one that doesn't have an armor disadvantage, right?
Well, we can look it up and find
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'll just I'll roll.
No disadvantage on stealth checks.
Okay, cool.
Are you okay with me just sticking with mine, or do you want me to do Dorothy as well?
You're okay just doing
Yeah,
yours.
I'm fine with it. I don't need separate rolls for every. Yeah.
Same thing with Misty. Should I?
Same answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Not giving you a different rule. Unless it actually makes sense. Jeez, plus 10s to all of this. As soon as you feel...
Ignore that. It was just...
Okay. You all feel the dirt in the area kick up, settle, covering all of your tracks as you quickly move over and slip into the tree line, hiding behind many of them. Shale finding a nook inside of a tree that she can easily climb and burrow into and peeking out from inside at a very distinct angle at this local area. All of you disappear quickly. A few minutes go by. And then you all begin to hear louder, large footsteps coming over to this area. From the north side of this little section, you see two giants walk out. Jabitafat. Vera. Lily, you recognize the language as giant. The worker ones are dead. Yeah, I can see, idiot. Don't call me idiot, stupid. Oh, we need them make more. Yeah, we tell them make more. And the two of them, between the two of them, they lift half of the stockpile of trees, one in the back, one in the front, and start carrying it away.
If once they're kind of
out of earshot and stuff, Lily will kind of, in a low whisper, or maybe even just write it out to the others.
We should follow them now.
Shale's already emerging from the tree as she's hearing the sounds start to get distant, and she just kind of has a hand up as she does. And you can see the way that she's moving. She's being extremely careful where she's like setting her footing and is going to attempt to keep pace with them. Trying to make sure that she's visible to everybody else behind.
But we need to stay within a certain radius for Pass Without a Trace, right?
You do, but also if you're a certain distance behind things, they tend not to hear or notice you either.
I mean, I was hoping we'd stay within distance.
Well, it's your call. Do you wish to keep up with Shale?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then all of you are action dashing to keep up with Shale's normal movement through the difficult terrain of the forestation, but maintaining your stealth while doing it. All of you are maintaining your stealth. The two giants are leisurely strolling. They're not walking too terribly fast. And you start noticing after you breach into this new section that you were just about to head into that there are trees pushed, slightly uprooted on their edges to create a walking path for these giants. Luckily for the four of you, you can slip underneath these roots to gain better cover while moving and following them. As they're walking, carrying these, they do continue talking, and Lily, they're not being quiet. You hear them perfectly. Yeah, what do you think kill all of them? Oh no, bird? Yeah, probably bird. Makes sense. You know birds eat ants, right? Yeah, dummy, I told you that. Hey, Ma said don't call me dummy, stupid. Mom said don't call me stupid.
As as Lily's listening to them speak to, is it possible, Joey, if like while that's happening, she's like getting this like recording it onto her voice box, at least the tone of voice? Because I want to try to attempt something.
Did you create that object yet?
Voice box. It's. I don't know if. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we talked about you creating it. You haven't made it yet. You can try to keep it in your head, but yeah, you can't record them yet.
Okay.
How large exactly are these giants?
You know, as far as giants go, admittedly not that big. They're only about 25 to 40 feet tall.
Oh,
But-
actually,
So huge.
I think, yeah, huge. Just under gargantuan. Yeah.
actually,
What
that
kind of...
reminds.
Go ahead, Lily.
That reminds me. Now that we have an actual closer look at these giants, can Lily will kind of look to Shale and stuff.
Do you recognize what kind of giants these are?
Shell is kind of like she turns back to you. She's obviously not going to say anything. So is there a yes or no way of phrasing that, Joey? Do I know?
Nature. Roll me in nature. I know you're terrible at this, but
you know, it's what dice rolls are for. Maybe I do.
Exactly,
Maybe I don't.
exactly.
8.
They look different from the giants from your home.
It's a very placid look on her face. Hard to read. You don't know.
They continue walking. And they stop off in a clearing. About halfway, well, I shouldn't say halfway. After about 40 minutes, which means you're all about 45 minutes into the spell, Shale. You have 15 minutes remaining. They stop off in this clearing, and the one who was in the back calls out, "Ugh. I'm tired of walking. I think I have a splinter." And he lifts his foot, and there's an entire branch stuck in the bottom of his toe that he just pulls out. I know. Well, we got until tomorrow. We're fine. We can take a break here. And they sit down on the ground directly. Around this time, it is a little later into the day. I've moved you all onto a new map.
When he...
And you see this stream that they place themselves near. There's the first one. And there's the second one.
Where did he pull out that splinter, and was there blood?
He pulled it out from the bottom of his foot. He just threw the splinter away. Actually, no, he would have just dropped it on the ground right beside him. And it's like it's a branch, pretty much. And yeah, it bled, pierced his toe.
If one of you can get that branch, I think I can get one of them to bleed out.
Everyone's basically been maintaining like a pretty like maximum pace, right, at this point to keep up with the giants. Is that correct, Joey?
Other than you, yes.
Okay, all right, so that's not an option. I mean, maybe, but they don't seem super aggressive as far as I can tell, but that might be something we need to consider.
They also don't seem super smart, which is something we could take advantage of, like figure out who it is they're referring to or what they're doing.
What'd you say, Bernie?
They were talking about their mother.
Oh, you didn't hear. Do you understand,
Oh,
Giant?
I thought they were. Never
No,
mind.
I was directing it towards
Right,
Lily.
okay.
Sorry.
they were mentioning the mother, Lily. It was a bit strange.
Shale, you understand Giant?
Yeah.
Ah. Lily, you now know Shale understands Giant.
No,
pretty
I established this at the very beginning, Joey. Sorry. Right?
Oh, I didn't. I seem to have missed that part. I apologize.
No, that's fine. But yeah, she's familiar with giants.
I'm aware, but before that, they mentioned that they said they need to make more for the worker ants, which means we might be able to converse with them and get them to tell us accidentally who they're referring to. I just wish Kurt was here to do that because he seems very good at words.
No argument here. Looks like we have a couple options. So we can continue what we're doing, try following them, hopefully not too much further, because I don't think I'm going to be able to maintain the level of unnoticeability that we've kept so far. Other than that, we could try getting ahead of them. I think the path should be clear enough at this point. We could try to save a bit of time, but we wouldn't be able to rest or nothing. Third option, as Lily kind of pointed out, if one were to engage with them and question them, they might not be outright dangerous, but there's always kind of an inherent danger. What would y'all like to do?
What are they doing now?
Bernie?
I mean, they just stopped, but what were they? Did they say anything about what they were going to do?
They're taking the logs back to wherever it is that they're from to do something with them. And right now they're tired. One of them had something stuck in his foot.
Right. Okay. So, if they're going to, I'm not aware of their habits, but do they sleep often? I mean, if they go to sleep, then maybe we could sneak up and try and, take them out while they're sleeping.
I mean, they usually sleep around that time, just like anyone else. It's not common to come across a sleeping giant in the day.
Could be. Well, I don't know if it takes a nap. In any case, I think we also need to gather our strength a little bit before we approach this challenge.
I have an idea that I have from listening to them, but there is a chance of being discovered should it go wrong. But they do seem stupid enough for it to actually work.
I'm waiting for the plan.
If they seem to be discussing things and not really paying attention to if they actually said it or not, and calling each other stupid, what if I talk in giant and have them answer, making them think that they're talking to each other?
I mean, I get it. What's the point?
To find out the information.
Well, we'll find that out when we get to the place, won't we?
There's no guarantee of that.
Well, that's a secondary goal. Our object here is to make these not be a problem anymore.
Right.
Which, if I get that branch, I could at least start wounding one of them.
Well, if Shale, I'm not sure. You said you can't keep our this spell up much longer. If we start moving around the forest and without it, I think they're most likely going to hear me. So I'd suggest we take a step back and follow them from a longer distance for now. We know that they're passing through this area, so if they're going back and forth, then we might have some options. But if we end up in a position where we have to fight these things, we need to be at our full strength. And right now, we're not.
Sure, I'm okay taking a break here. I mean, to Lily's point, I do agree that if we are to stay within earshot of them, we might get some information. So I don't think that's entirely out of the question. I could, get it going. It's hard with so many people making the earth, quiet like, but I can manage it for a bit longer if we need.
I could also try to make one of them go mad and attack the other.
Well, that would help. Like you did with the back at the resort, right?
Yes, provided they aren't wise, this should work.
Well, do they seem very wise to you?
Well, they don't seem.
Tosha, a fly lands on one of their eyes, and they don't blink.
Yeah, I think it would work.
If
Do you wish for me to try it?
If I might off,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's not do anything rash right now. I mean, it's a good plan to have in mind in case we need to, but if it's possible to talk with them and persuade them somehow to go away, I mean, it seems unlikely, but I'm willing to give it a try if you all feel more comfortable doing that. I mean, I'm not sure I feel comfortable fighting them, but...
Well, that's why I have two different ways to either get one, bleeding out now, and he'll have to focus on that, or make one of them go mad and attack the other by throwing stuff at them, causing them to start fighting one another.
I'm sure both of those would definitely come in handy should the situation arise. And we'll get you a stick, Tosha, as soon as they decide to move on. I'm sure they're not bringing it with them.
The only thing, it has to be kind of fresh blood.
if I might offer, from what it sounds like, we have agreed to at least either follow or deal with these giants, but what if they're going back and there's more giants? I think we can handle just these two, but if we go back and there's more, it might be better to thin their numbers now. And if that means that if we're going to do that, why don't we try my idea to garner information from them before we take them out? Because if I'm discovered anyways, they'll likely try to kill me or eat me or whatever giants do.
Well, the thing is, we don't have a clear picture of of everything that's going on. As you said, we don't know exactly how many there are. There are those two that you mentioned, something they were talking about their mother. So there's at least one other. For now, I suggest we just stay back a little bit. They don't seem that perceptive. So if we are able to keep quiet and out of sight, we should be able to get some fuller grasp of exactly what's going on here and where they're moving around. And there might be another better opportunity to take out one of them alone. I think that would probably be the best.
All right, so a resolution make everybody happy. We're going to wait here. We're going to get rested for Bunny. Lily, as soon as we begin moving again, we can allow you to introduce yourself and get any information you may need. And deem whether or not these folk are actually dangerous to us. And Tolsha, I can go ahead and get you a stick right now if you need. All right? Is everybody agreed on that?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Lily?
Yes.
All right.
Lily is very reluctantly like, it's not my idea. I wanted to
It
do
is.
something.
It literally is. You said you wanted to do the thing, and we said we'd do your thing as soon as we finish the rest. So
Oh,
we're
okay.
doing
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
then, Lily.
You're doing the thing. Bernie
I'm
wants to have
literally
more hit
making
points.
Everybody in the party happy.
Okay, sorry.
Your tank wants more heals before go aggro, Leroy.
I misunderstood then. My bad.
But anyway.
Real quick, I'm going to try to speed through it. I'm going to beast sense into Dorothy. Dorothy is going to burrow underground. She's going to go for the stick, grab the stick, burrow back down. Maybe she'll take an opportunity attack. Who knows? But she should be.
So where are you going to be positioned, and where is?
It's a 10-minute spell. So we're far enough back. We're fine. I imagine.
So she's not going to be in your aura. Have her roll a stealth check.
No, yeah.
This
is all Dorothy. This is pure Dorothy. But
okay, cool. I was just wondering if she would have your aura of silence. Okay.
17.
Surprisingly, that beats a giant's passive perception. Crawls up.
Yep.
Gets the stick.
Yep.
Goes back down.
Brings it back to Tulsa.
While that's happening, I'm going to use Harness Divine Power to regain a second level.
Okay. And any other preparations we want to take? Because in the next 10 minutes, they stand up and they continue walking away.
Nice.
I was hoping.
Yeah, if we're taking a short rest, I'm gonna roll some dice as well.
All right, then. Then, with all of you taking your short rest, I think this is a reasonable place for us to end the session. Give you guys a chance to do your preparation and hopefully have 5 people or 6 people here for the fight against the 2 giants. Players, thank you very much for playing. Viewers, thank you for watching. Hope you all had a fantastic time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it very much. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.